All right. All right. Hey, this is Vince Queen. Welcome to the Keys to the Market. Today, we're featuring uh, Miss Robyn Porter, an agent that I've had the great opportunity of working with. She's been in the business for over 20 years, and she's been servicing the DMV area, or DC, Maryland, and Virginia, for those who don't know. And I found her to be so delightful and somebody that you would absolutely want to work with because of her enthusiasm. She has a zeal for this business. So I could go on and on about it, but you know what, Robyn, let's get to it. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I'm glad you made it. So, hey, look, let's get right into it. You know what? Tell me, what really inspired you to get into real estate?
Sure. I was living in Virginia and I'd gotten married and moved to the other side of the Potomac and didn't want to fight traffic, but I wanted to keep busy.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, let's just try my hand in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And who knew? Love it. It's the best job ever. So it really, I had a young son at the time, and
Okay.
it allowed me during the week to be in the classroom with my son.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the weekends, my husband would take care of my son and allow me to do all my real estate stuff. So just it was it worked very well for both of us, and it was fantastic.
That's
And I
beautiful.
love it. It's the best job ever.
It's the best job ever. Now, if it's the best job
Oh,
ever, what did you do before then?
Prior to that, I was doing PR and marketing for a $1 billion worldwide company and heading up their small business program. So I had a lot of experience doing press releases, talking to the media, and just sort of putting stories together. And
Hmm.
it felt like a really good fit because in real estate, you have to market yourself and put yourself out there. And so I felt like it was just a really good fit and it's worked out really well.
Nice transition from the marketing business that you would work at the company and then marketing yourself. It has to be a
Absolutely.
lot more exciting to market for yourself. Would I be right in saying that?
It does, absolutely. And I like being my own boss because, when you work for a company, you are beholden to them. And if they could cut you at any time, they could, and I was not ready for that. So, I always like to say if, you can talk about yourself positively. I mean, who else is going to talk about you positively if not for if you don't do it yourself? So that's the
That's
great
right.
place to start. And
That's
then,
exactly right.
and I've just, went from there.
So tell me this. So from a marketing perspective, I talk to a lot of realtors, and everybody does something different. So what are you doing different and in a quote unquote um, uh, tough marketplace? How are you
Sure.
excelling?
Sure. Well, I really think that actually some of my clients have said it best for me is that because I really do love my job so much. And I know I say that and I will continue to say it. It comes through. And I get I ask everybody for a review. And a lot of the feedback I get is that it feels like they're buying or selling a home with their best friend, which is the best compliment. And, somebody wants to sell or somebody wants to buy, and I'm not here to force them at any time to do those activities. I am here to provide them information and support and service so that they can make the best decisions. And so I feel like when I can help them reach their goals and be just a small part of their journey, whether or not they're buying or selling a home, I think that that's really important. And I just even from being at an open house, I've walked into open houses, not said who I was, and the agent is standing there on their phone or sitting down, and there's no interaction whatsoever. Like, who wants to work with that person? I certainly don't. And so,
Mm-mm.
really, just want to be engaging and I think that that's really important. So from um, you know, and I think your personality and how you feel about what you're doing, it really does come through.
Yeah, it does.
And my clients have picked up on that.
Mm. Well, I can see why they could pick up on that. Your attitude is delightful. It really is. So look, I'm going to make a quick shift. Tell me, what kind of trends are you seeing in the marketplace these days? And how are they impacting buying and sales?
Sure. Um, Sure. So, when I first got into the business, I used to do first time home buyer seminars, and I started, and this was 20 years ago when nobody was doing, nobody had the phone, and they weren't doing social media. And it's sort of transitioned now because people don't want to sit in a room anymore and listen to someone speaking. They really want to get their information from the internet. So you need to be on top of your game, know what's going on in your communities really on a micro level, and not only from a maybe a city level, but down really to the neighborhood and what's going on in that neighborhood. And I feel like it's funny, last year in 2024, everybody, I'd hear on the socials and other agents talking that it was a very difficult market. I had my best year ever, and the year before that was a great year. And I really think that it might sound kind of silly, but you need to believe it to see it.
That's
And I
right.
think it's a great market out there.
Yeah.
And if you go into it saying that oh, there's no business, or what am I going to do? Well, there's not going to be any business. You need to go out there and find it and do the work. So and there are buyers that are coming into the market. I think that people have gotten comfortable with the 6%, or, the mid like 6 to 7% interest rate, where we are now with those interest rates. And they're not waiting around anymore for like the 2 and 3%, because those days are gone. So people are getting back into the market. They're ready to buy. Sellers are selling. I mean, it's, we're talking the beginning of 2025, and I already have several listings because these sellers are like, okay, let's do it. And so, I'm still seeing multiple offers, not maybe in the double digits, but instead of, 7, 8, 9 offers, 10 offers, maybe 2 or 3. So the competition isn't as crazy. But I think people are ready to buy.
You had quick sales there, and you know what? You're absolutely right. In terms of the interest rates, we're never going back to the 2 and 3% stuff. And if we
Yeah.
do, we should
Nope.
all be scared as you know what. If we go back there, we got a real issue going on.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And when I bought my first home, I think it's totally going to date me, but I want to say it was like in the eights. So sixes, that's still really great. I think it's good. And people were just spoiled getting those really low 2 and 3%.
that's
And
correct.
6%, 7%, it's healthy. It's a healthy
Absolutely,
market.
absolutely. Historically,
Sure.
over the last 40 to 50 years, the average interest rate was 6.5%.
See, there you go. There you go. And I think
Mhm.
people are sort of realizing that. And the more that they wait, the more that home prices are going up. So they might as well just get in there and start building their financial future by investing in what is usually most
Absolutely.
people's biggest investment.
As it's the biggest investment that they'll ever have. You know,
Yep.
you mentioned something now, that I kind of said, I want to know about that. So you talked about the strategies we used to do back in the days where we had a wall phone, but
Yep.
um, based on those strategies, um, what what strategies are you using today that
Sure.
are helping you be more
Sure.
effective?
Well, I think it's important to stay in the flow of people's lives. And you do that best by social media. So if you see, let's just take Facebook, for instance. I try to be on social media wherever I can. And on Facebook, today I had a little alert that 4 of my friends were having birthdays. So sure, I'll put the little, happy birthday thing on their Facebook page. But if these are very close friends or clients, I have their phone numbers. I'm either texting them or leaving a voice text or something, just so that they recognize it, because my little happy birthday on Facebook is going to get lost with the other 50 that they're going to
That's
get.
right.
So you need
That's
to
right.
stay in the flow of their lives.
Mhm.
If maybe somebody is got engaged, or is, having a baby, well, then I will maybe take it out of text and take it out of social media, and I'll handwrite them a note. Handwritten notes are, I don't know why more people don't do them. I mean, when people go to their mailbox today, they're getting a bill, or something that's, who wants that? But if they're getting a card, they get excited because nobody gets mail anymore. So
That's right.
maybe you handwrite a note, birthday's coming up. So I think staying in the flow of lives is very important. And I call it touching. I touch people probably at least two, maybe three times a month. So I do handwritten notes. I on social media, make the comments so we have some interaction. I do a monthly newsletter. I
Mm-hmm.
do what's called an item of value, and that might be in the winter months what they need to do to get their home ready for winter so that the
Mm-hmm.
pipes don't freeze or anything. So I
Sure.
think that as if you're providing value and information all the time, they're going to start people are going to start seeing you as the expert, and when they need something, they're going to come looking for you and not some stranger that they don't know.
Absolutely. You know, sounds like you're touching people six, seven, eight times a year. So you're really reinvesting it back in your business. That's what you're really doing. And the whole idea of a note, oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I know, right? Nobody does that anymore. And
Mhm.
then when you are lucky enough to have a client, and you go to closing, do not be shy about asking that person for a testimonial, and have them put that testimonial, in multiple places. If you have a Yelp page, get or don't have a Yelp page, get one and put it up there. Put it on your Google page. A lot of people do Zillow reviews. Use that testimonial. That's your best marketing tool. In addition to yourself,
Yeah.
is a review from a client.
Mhm.
Use that. I even had fellow realtors write nice things about me in some of my, on my social media. I take that and I'll, maybe recreate it into some sort of graphic on Canva. I love Canva, by the way. Everybody should be using Canva.
Mhm.
It's free, but you can, pay for a higher subscription. Um,
Sure.
and then repost that. And it doesn't have to be one time, like post it a couple times a year. I mean,
That's
there's
right.
so many things that you just need to get creative and think outside the box.
And you certainly are doing it all. Boy, I tell you what,
I
boy,
try.
it's awesome. It's awesome what you do.
I try to do it all.
Oh,
You
oh
know
my
what?
God.
I like to tell people be everywhere all the time. So, and when you are everywhere all the time on all your social media platforms, if you're on realtor.com or Zillow or whatever platforms you use, make sure that your bio, your picture, your contact information is all up to date. It's consistent across the board. If you change it one place, you got to change it everywhere. It's kind of a pain, but do it because it matters.
So you sound like you spend, I don't know, and you don't. It's not an inordinate amount of time on it, but it seems like you spend a lot of time on it. Am I right in saying that?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
My best friend is a realtor in Chicago,
Okay.
and she's about my same age, and she refuses to accept social media. And we had this, she was in town yesterday, and she said to me, I just can't learn it. I can't learn it. It's too much. And I said, but you're on your phone. And she's like, I know I'm on my phone. So I said, well, if you're on your phone anyway, what are you doing? She says, well, I'm just looking at stuff. And so are you kidding me? It is so easy to figure things out,
It is.
even for the person who is very scared of social media. I mean, I'm I call myself the typo queen. I am always doing typos. So you delete it and redo it. It's
That's all
not a
right.
big deal. So
Yeah.
if you're already on the socials doing scrolling, take the time to comment on something. Take the you're scrolling, you're like, oh, look at, she just had a baby. Let me handwrite her a note. These things do not take a lot of time.
They
If you're
don't.
sitting in front of the TV and you're flipping through your phone, well, then you have time to make a social media post. It's
Yes,
very,
you do.
it's today it's very easy. It's very easy to do these things.
Well, for the folks who are not so computer savvy, I'm going to say it's tough for them.
Well, here's my thing. Um, take my I have several sayings. One is baby steps. Even a baby step forward is forward. So even if you do one post a week, it's better than zero posts a week.
That's right.
Even if it's, one card a week, I
That's
mean, you
right.
should do more, but if it's one card a week, it's
That's
still a
right.
card a week. Like it's
That's right.
something you still need to do every day. I literally work every day. Some days I work 5 minutes, some days I work 10 hours, but every day I am doing something that moves my business forward.
Right.
And it could, again, could be really small, so don't get intimidated. Or,
Yeah.
it could be, a bigger thing, meeting with clients and, putting a new listing on the market.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? Small things add up to big things later on. So yeah,
100%.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
Not a
I
question.
agree. Your level of positivity, boy, I'm going to tell you, I can feel it through the screen. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, so you just gave a piece of advice that some people could do. What other, if you were to talk to other realtors right now, what other pieces of advice would you give?
I would say that there is no secret sauce to real estate. I think a lot of people get into real estate because they think it's easy. In my experience, the hardest part of real estate is finding clients. And once you do that, it's managing expectations. So you
Oh,
there is no, I'm sitting here and I sure I'm like, do social media. But at the end, you just need to do the work. You can, I have never spent any money buying leads at any time in my 20 years career. I haven't done it
no?
and I won't do it. Nope, never have purchased a lead from anybody. I just, open houses. I would, if I were a new agent, any chance I get to do an open house, I would do an open house. Here's a little story. I was very new to real estate and did not have a mentor. And this more experienced agent in my office offered me the opportunity to do an open house at this new condo she had. It was in Pooks Hill in Bethesda. And I was sure I'll do it. So I do the open house. And this girl walks in. It's totally not for her, this condo. She just didn't want it. But she said, you know what? I have a condo to sell on Connecticut Avenue in DC.
Hmm.
Would you come and talk to me? And she and I just had a good vibe. So I ended up listing that one. And while I'm doing the open houses for that one, I picked up a buyer who came in from across the street. And then this other guy walks in and just talking with him, Nathan. And we had a good vibe and he told me he had an agent and I wished him on his way. And I said, go enjoy your afternoon looking at homes. And then he called me before my open house ended that day. And he said, Robyn, I found this condo I really want. Can you help me get it? I said, Nathan, no, I cannot. You have an agent. You have to call that person, have that person help you. And he said, you know what? I really don't like her, but I like you. Will you help me? And so open houses are such a great way to meet
Meet
people,
people.
and it gets you
Right.
comfortable being, to talking with
That's right.
people. Because then, I mean, honestly, buying and selling a home, it's like dating. They just want to make sure it's
It-
a good vibe. You're sharing
That's
a
right.
lot of personal information.
That's right.
And so open houses are fantastic. I mean, they're not going to cost you any money. You're doing it for somebody else, and you will pick up clients. If you're doing it right and you're interacting, you're not on your phone, stick your phone away. I never sit down. If there's someone walking around a home I'm in, you will never see me sit down. You stand up, you don't follow them around everywhere, but you're there
Right.
to answer questions.
That's right.
And my other advice about open houses is that, or actually in general, do not pass along information that you don't know. Like, don't make it up, because they will know when you're either not telling the truth or just making it up. And be very frank. You know what? I don't know the answer to that, but give me your email and I'll call you, I'll send you an email with that information. So now you've followed up. So you've given them value and you've
That's right.
captured their email to put in your database for future contact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
I tell you what, man, that was good. That was very good. That's I'm getting ready to say something. I hope you don't get offended by it, but it is so old school that I love it. So
It is old school.
that
I,
is old school.
it absolutely. It's just
Absolutely.
about meeting people and vibing with them and providing value. And that is how you can be successful. And even providing value if they're not your client. So if someone's just they come in and maybe you have some, you print out some comps before you have your open house, so you can say, well, this is how we price this one based upon here, and here are the other comps. Just providing value is and being helpful, because at the end of the day, especially with first time home buyers, there are a lot of questions and
Mhm.
there are a lot of repeat questions, so you have to be
Mhm.
patient, which is fine. I tend to talk very fast. um but
You talk with excitement.
no, no, I do. I'm very excited. I get because do you see? Like I love my job.
Yeah,
I
no,
love, you know,
hey,
I do.
don't ever
Oh,
lose it. Don't ever lose it. You talk with such
oh no,
excitement. I'm getting
there
excited over
is.
here. Very good.
I know. Don't you want to go sell a house? I know. I'm very excited. There is nothing better than handing a set of keys to a new first-time home buyer. I mean, come on. It's just I get excited talking about it. I love it.
Absolutely. Well, you said something repeatedly during our conversation, and one of the things that I really I agree with, like even on the lending side, I spend most of my time. I spend about 10% of my time doing a loan. I spend 90% of my time managing expectations of the customer. And so when you that's what I
Yes.
do.
Yes.
And when you're making such a large
Well,
investment and spending that much money, you got to manage a lot of expectation. The home buying thing is the last thing on that person's mind, but you got to. It's all the other things that come up. So
absolutely.
you agree with that?
Absolutely. One of the things, yeah, well, 100%. One of the things that I love about you is that you call me all the time. A lot of people don't call. And so to call, I think is really important. Um, because, it's a more personal kind of thing.
It is.
Also, which you've never had to deliver bad news to me, thank goodness. But I will say, I think it's very important in terms of managing expectations to build into your business plan that you are delivering good and bad news at the same
Right.
speed. Don't
Absolutely.
sugarcoat something. If the appraisal is low, if
Lay it
there is
early.
a home inspection issue that needs to be resolved, do
Absolutely.
it because if you don't, it is going to be 10 times worse. And again, when you're doing that, you are showing your professionalism, you're showing that you can be trusted, and
Mm-hmm.
they're looking for your guidance. And if you don't know something, if you need to deliver some, not so great news, maybe chat with your manager about that topic before you deliver it. And then if your client then asks you some questions and you don't know the answer to, again, say, you know what? Don't know. Let me find out. I've
That's
been
right.
doing this for over 20 years. I call my manager all the time. I'm always second guessing myself sometimes. Um, and I say to my clients, you know what? Let me just confirm that this is what I think, but let me confirm it. So I think the managing expectations is so huge. It's
That's
so
right.
huge part of a transaction.
That's right. Verify
Yeah,
and
for sure.
confirm. Big stuff. Big stuff.
Yep.
So
Hmm.
so what while we're on that, so tell us a little bit about who do you work with, tell us
Sure.
about your
Sure.
team, that sort of thing. I want to
Sure.
make sure that everybody knows.
Sure. So in April, it'll be 21 years. I've been selling real estate again. Love it. And I recently moved out of the DC area, and my son is in the military and he's down at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and well, Fort Liberty, for us to call it Fort Bragg.
Mhm.
And we couldn't see him as often. So I moved down to where he could come up on the weekends and spend time with the family. And when I did that, I thought, you know what, I'm all about service. Service is number one. And I didn't want my service to slide. And so I hired a team member and then I hired another team member. So I'm really the one that brings in the business, but I have two team members that help me just manage things. And, they'll bring in some deals themselves. And we just hired, or I just brought on a third agent in 2025 because even though I moved out of the DC area, the minute I moved, my business has, greatly increased. Like I said, this year I had the best year, or 2024, I had the best year of my career. And then 2023 was also the best year, you know, to that point. And I think it's just I'm getting efficient. I've been with Long and Foster the entire time. I started at an office called Democracy Center that
Mhm.
closed, and then I moved to another office in Bethesda, and now I'm in Potomac. And you know what? Just gotten very efficient and just loving it. So that's my team. So now there are four of us, and we're gonna kill it this year.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know you are too. I got to tell you something. With your enthusiasm, your drive, your vision, you can't help but be successful. There's just no doubt in my mind. That was
you
one
know
of the
what?
reasons. That was one of the reasons that I was really, I really wanted to get you on because you are just a bundle of energy, and it's the right kind of energy, and it's the energy that we need today, because of so many reasons
Yeah.
and so many things. And but but you're a
Well, I
powerhouse. You
appreciate
just
that.
don't know
Thank
it.
you.
It's the truth. It's the truth. I
Well,
I, I
well,
usually don't say things I don't mean.
oh, well, that's great. And truly, just, agent to other, agents out there, there's no need to be difficult. Again, you have a client that wants to buy or sell. I have a client that wants to buy or sell.
That's right.
Let's make it happen
That's right.
because, sometimes the agents they can be a little challenging
Yes, they
and
can.
there's no reason. It's just like, let
Absolutely.
let's be a party. Let's all be great. It's wonderful. And also find as a, someone who maybe is struggling in their business or a new agent, find somebody in your office. They don't necessarily have to mentor you officially, but that's willing to share. I've been very lucky that I've landed in an office. Well, my first office, they weren't so sharing, but my last office, in Bethesda, the Bethesda All Points office, everybody, all the agents were just willing to help, share, guide, answer questions. And I am the first person to help answer questions in my office. Again, I don't know everything, and I hopefully never will. But align yourself, or make friends with somebody that's, that you can bounce ideas off, or find a good manager that is willing to take the time, because that's going to make or break your success as well, for sure.
Absolutely. Man, I hope a lot of people watch this one because you're just giving out nuggets left and right. And I hope they really take you to heart because you're a true professional. And I'm just gonna put this in, I'll just lay this out here. You know, um, you and I, we know each other because we've done two deals together, and you've been on the listing side of the
Yep.
transaction,
Mhm.
and so that's kind of odd. And I just said to myself when I did my research and figured out, I said, you know what, we worked on another deal together, and I
Uh,
said, I know her, and so you had to get on here. Other thing is that I wanted to share this with you because you brought it up earlier.
mhm.
So the last deal we just did, the uh, the buyer's agent, and the title company said, you know, Robyn Porter, she has just got a great spirit about her, and just a terrific person to work with.
Oh,
So,
the buyer's agent was fabulous as well. She was
well,
lovely.
I've worked with her for over 15 years, but
Oh, she's great.
she
Great.
said that Robyn was delightful to work with. So I wanted to make sure I told you that because you
Oh,
know
well, thank you. Well, thank you.
that's what they said. And the title, Cindy at the title company said the same thing. She said she was great to work with. So
Well,
you know,
that's what I'm talking about. You get nice agents on both sides. There's no reason it needs to be like, you know,
no,
confrontational.
no,
Even if there is a challenge,
none of
you work
that.
it out. You just work it out. And she was lovely and patient. The buyer's agent, she was
Yes,
wonderful. And in fact, her clients, it was my listing, and it was multiple offers, and the first deal that she was like, their offer was second. We took another offer. That deal fell through. She was very proactive from day one, staying in touch to see if anything happened. And the minute, it was just not even a second thought not to go with her, go
with
back to her
her offer.
clients to see if they
Well,
wanted still wanted the
they
house. And they
wanted
did.
that.
It worked
They
out great. Yeah, it was
and they
great.
wanted that house so bad. I told them. I said, all right,
Yeah, it was
I'll
great.
say this: they did everything I told them to do, and we got them through, and we got
Yep.
them through
See?
cleanly. It worked out.
Yeah, it was
It
great.
worked out.
It was so smooth. It was so smooth.
What a team we worked out to turned out to be.
See? There
See
you
how
go.
about that? So, well,
Uh-huh.
listen.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to thank you for being on the show. You are. I know why you're so successful. 2025 is just going to be the best year ever. I am so thankful that you came on our show today. I am so thankful that I met you. And I
Thank you.
really am because you really, your positive spirit, it really is uplifting. And I'm hoping that a lot of people watch this so they can be uplifted too. So you are just something
Well,
else.
Well, thank you for having me. And I absolutely look forward to doing business with you in 2025 for sure.
Oh, well,
And if anybody seeing this or listening to this, um, really has any questions about real estate, I am happy to answer questions anytime. Shoot me a text. It's the best way to get in touch with me. Feel free to pass my information along. And I'm happy to, somebody that's struggling or have questions or just want some ideas or to bounce something off of, I'm happy to answer.
well, Robyn, thank you so much for being on the show. Stay on for a second.
Thank
I can't
you.
tell you how much we appreciate this. This has been Keys to the Market. I'm Vince Queen. Man, what a fantastic guest we had today in Robyn Porter. She's one of the best. And you know what? Take her up on her offer. She's got a lot of good information to share, and I'm sure she can help you and your business. Thanks for watching.